since you acquired the Michigan Central Station in Detroit, USA, in June 2018, Ford has worked hard to restore the property to its former glory. In the process, workers have made dozens of fascinating discoveries, from sealed chambers to items lost decades ago. And among the latter, a very special one stood out, a beer bottle containing a handwritten note from 1913. Ford historians believe it was intentionally left. Crews working at the Michigan station stumbled upon a third of Stroh beer, predating the prohibition in the North American country, between January 17, 1920 and December 6, 1933, with a carefully rolled and mysterious message tucked inside. The guys at Ford pulled back the newsprint to reveal a message that, first of all, it is believed to have been written by two men who worked on the construction of the station in 1913, although the entire message is unclear. The construction teams working on the transformation of the aforementioned are in the process of restoring the most prominent areas of the Beaux-Arts-style building on the ground floor, including the esplanade, gallery, lobby, restaurant, and waiting room, which is lined with floor-to-ceiling scaffolding. This phase includes masonry and plasterwork repairs, including recreating the ornate faux stone look that added to the original luster. And this is how a team discovered the artifact. The bottling, with the date 7-19-13, was discovered around 6 p.m. on May 4 by Lucas Nielsen and Leo Kimball, worker and foreman respectively of Homrick, a plaster restoration contractor company that works in the station's tea room. And despite how difficult it was to resist the temptation, both partners were praised for not opening the bottle themselves. It was extremely tempting, it really was, Nielsen explained. If we had done something to eliminate it, we would have destroyed it. To get more into context, Nielsen and Kimball were in an elevator to reach a raised section of the plaster cornice that would be removed from the wall. At that moment, Nielsen noticed something behind the ledge, a glass bottle placed upside down and positioned behind the wall crown molding. Kimball was about to hit the wall when Nielsen stopped him. They stopped working and removed the bottle. The men, full of enthusiasm, returned to the flat at 6:45 p.m. and took the bottle to their supervisor. David Campo, project superintendent Christman Brinker, is the person in charge of the construction team leading the restoration project. Later that night, they also found a button from the jumpsuit believed to have been dropped by a worker during the original construction. It was also found inside the wall. In the early 1900s, when the station was built, the Finks Detroit special jumpsuits they were synonymous with quality denim garments for workers. I think the bottle was left there in the hope that someone would find it in the future, Campo said. Nielsen and Kimball, who have found as many stale containers inside the station, albeit without mysterious notes inside, mention that artifacts are rare on construction sites because they are easily destroyed. Over the course of Ford's annual renewal, more than 200 items found, including nearly 100 that have been used to replicate new pieces of the building. The articles that have been found show the care that each of the construction workers is taking, he mentioned. Rich Bardelli, director of Blue Oval Firm Construction for the Central Michigan Development Project. They saw it and knew it was important, so they brought it to us. My reaction was wait to open it and make sure we get it right. The paper containing the message will be delicately cared for by Ford historians in their temperature-controlled space. The main thing you have to do is stop the deterioration of the paper, said the director of Brand and Heritage, Ted Ryan. With the bottle it is relatively easy, it is made of glass. But we will also have to make sure that the rest of the note does not deteriorate. It's like the parts of a classic car. As such, both the bottle and the message that it has jealously guarded for over a century will be relocated to Ford's specially designed file space in Dearborn, to be integrated into the company's larger collection. Other recent finds include a saucer from a porcelain set, which was recovered in the basement. During the removal of an elevator shaft, a room was discovered on an intermediate level that contained an adding machine, baby shoes, women's shoes, and other items. Old payment books and tickets for invoices and receipts have also been discovered. An old bottle of Shinola shoeshine was found nearby, in the old bronze factory next to the factory that, in the 1920s, raised the city. Nielsen, a resident of Garden City who has lived in the Detroit area since birth, began work on the restoration of the Michigan Central Station in February. He explained that he hopes the message on the bottle is something important that relates to the building. "I was passing by and wondering what would happen to the train station," he says. "Now we will be part of the history of the building. It's good to see it revitalize after being neglected for so long." In the end, it is automotive history. Ford bought the train station in 2018, beginning the preservation project shortly after. When construction is complete, it will become the centerpiece of Central Michigan, a mobility innovation district of 30 acres in Corktown featuring a mix of shops, restaurants and community services, and promises dynamic spaces for Ford employees and the company's innovation partners to develop, test and launch new solutions to solve the challenges of urban transportation. There are more than 400 workers who currently work on the site daily, doing masonry repairs and installing roofs, floors, windows, plumbing, and electrical systems. Teams are also busy restoring Gustavino's magnificent vaulted ceiling in the old waiting room, which features 3 self-supporting arches, and fixing terracotta cornices and limestone capitals on the exterior of the building. Construction of this iconic building will be completed by the end of 2022.